Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Gigawatts. I am Peter, that is Connor. We talk about movies on this show, and this is actually what's becoming a bit of a tradition where a new DC Comics animated film comes out and we watch it and we talk about it and we see how it is with mixed results typically. So, this is the newest one, which is Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. That I was so excited for that I didn't know the name until I double checked before we started recording. Uh, the sad truth is, as much as I love DC characters, I love DC comics, these animated movies have not been super exciting for the last little while.
No,
So,
and that's saying that you were more hot on the last one than me. Gotham by
oh
Gaslight,
yeah, not by a huge amount, but
not by a
yeah,
huge amount, but yeah, even that's been the best in a while.
yeah, absolutely. Well, the Teen Titans Judas Contract was probably the best one in
Yeah,
the last
that,
like
that
3 or 4 years.
yeah, not counting the 66 ones. I
Sure,
agree with
yeah,
that.
but that's kind of separate because they're
Yeah,
specific to
of
what they
the
are.
mainline ones, sure.
Yeah. So this is the second Suicide Squad one. They had one before. Uh, Arkham
Assault
Assault?
on Arkham,
Assault on Arkham, there you go.
which was
Uh,
pretty good.
which was not bad, yeah. And then this one is kind of as far as I know, is this an original plot?
To my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know if this is based on anything, but we'll start spoiler free, of course, and we'll give you a warning before we go into spoilers. But what this is, in terms of a general plot, is that Amanda Waller, who of course runs the Suicide Squad, wants her hands on an item from Doctor Fate's tower, which is a get out of hell free card, and she sends the Suicide Squad off to get it. So they're hot in the tail, they're trying to find it. Vandal Savage is also trying to find it, as is a other group of villains led by Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, aka Zoom, and they're also after it for reasons unknown. Although, you assume that someone's dying, that's why they want to get out of
It's
hell
it's
for free.
it's pretty clear quite quickly, isn't it?
Yeah,
Once they're introduced.
so that is what the plot of the movie is. So it's a hell of a MacGuffin. You got the get out of hell free card that everyone's trying to get to.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask the question, Connor. Did you enjoy Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not the worst of these. Hell to pay.
Hell to Pay.
I didn't realize you were waiting. I just assumed you were finished.
I really because what we just said. I said Suicide Squad, and I was going to say, Get Out of Hell Free,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's
It's
not
a
a
bit
title.
of an awkward title, isn't it?
Hell to Pay. Yeah, it just kind of feels random.
It does.
But hey, so yeah, yeah, it's okay. Like there
Yeah,
was things I liked about it, there was things I didn't like about it. Um, that's kind of like a weird thing. Like, I appreciated how violent it was. Right, there was like slicing body parts. There was heads exploding. There was blood everywhere. It was great. That stuff I'm into. But there's something weird to me in an animated movie about being like sleazy in a sexual way. Like, there's at one point they're at a strip club and there's like male dancers like the
Yeah.
bulging in your face and there's references to things. And honestly, there's something that actually feels way more sleazy to me about that in an animated movie than a live action one. There's something about imagining someone sitting down and animating this and actually having to draw the bulge and doing the things. I said this as
Uh,
well when we did one of the other ones.
it could have been any of them.
It was the Batman Harley one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, in general, it doesn't bother me as long as it fits the tone. Because I'm just used to it in animation. I've seen enough of it that it's just okay. That's fine. Um, it bothered me a lot in that where it just felt like really for the sake of it. Where at least here it's consistent. Like it kind of feels sleazy the whole movie in an appropriate way.
Kind of. They go for a sort of grindhouse style. That's like opening credits where they've got like the scratches in the dirt, and it's going for this kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Like I say, it's hit and miss though. There's times where I just kind of feel like, okay, this is weird that they felt the need to do this. Like, hey, we were a grown up animated movie because we referenced these things and we showed these things. I mean, there is an F bomb which caught me so off guard that I had to go back and double check that there was an F bomb.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
the plain PG-13 rules here, they get one F-bomb.
Yep.
And because I think even though they don't have to be rated necessarily because they are home video. I think they like to be PG-13 because there's certain stores that won't sell it if they're
Yes,
R-rated. So
it's very rare they go over that.
so I think it is PG-13, but they're playing by those rules and they get one F-bomb, and it fits. So these are all villains, so that's why the violence also fits. If this was, a Justice League movie,
Yeah,
I'd be
it's
complaining
why I
about that.
said that the sleaze fits as well. Like it kind of works for this group of characters.
It kind of does. It still kind of stuck out to me as just being weird though, and like just I don't know, shoehorned in. Also shoehorned in, and I might get heat for saying this, but the only reason why Harley Quinn's in this movie is because she's popular, because she has nothing to do in the entire film.
Nah, cracks a few one-liners.
She's just there though.
She is. She
Like,
is.
like everyone else seems to have a bit of thing, especially obviously Deadshot's obviously the main one. Bronze Tiger gets some story going on. I kind of feel like Boomerang and Harley are there because people will recognize them from the live action movie.
They're not even just the live action. They're just Suicide Squad staples. I think. To be fair, at this point,
And now they are, sure, they weren't at
they
the
have
time.
been for a while now, though.
Yeah. Well, no, but even Harley, Harley's definitely new generation Suicide Squad.
Oh, sure, but like for the last decade at least, she's been
Not
consistently
that
on it.
because I'm pretty sure New 52 was the first time Harley was Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah.
She's on it before that.
I don't think so. I remember people talking about it at the time, like, Harley's on Suicide Squad now.
Oh, fair enough. That's still like what, 7 years?
I don't know. I just felt like they really had nothing to do with the whole movie. So she cracks a few one-liners here or there, but it's basically
Oh, don't
just.
get me wrong. I'm not defending that. I'm just saying I assume she's just kind of like she's been on every version of the team at least since then. So like she's just a staple.
In spite of Tara Strong voicing her, who's obviously again a staple voice actor for her, I kind of felt like the lines were a bit stilted and not necessarily her fault, but I don't know. Like the Harley stuff wasn't working for me so much in this one.
That's fair. There was a couple of times I chuckled, but yeah, you could probably cut her and not lose too much.
Even the way she was animated, I thought her face looked a little bit weird compared to normal.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that didn't stick out to me, but
I don't
that's
know, her
fair.
face just felt different to me. I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, so you have Harley. And I think what's interesting is when they're introducing all the characters, they don't really make a point of telling you who Deadshot, Boomerang, or Harley are. Again, they assume you know those ones because they're from the live action movie, but everyone else there's like an explanation as to who they are. Because it's like you get those three, and it actually explains who Copperhead is, it explains who Bronze Tiger is, it explains who Killer Frost is. Because those are the ones that the people who've only seen the live action movie won't know. So
pretty
we're
much.
going to take the time to explain them.
Which, in a way, I can appreciate is like, well, the less that you need to sit here and literally just read some exposition at me, the better.
Oh sure, no, that's fair. I think my odd critique of this is actually in some ways like I'm starting to worry that every time there's a Suicide Squad story in a movie, we're going to have Deadshot and Harley, and Deadshot's always going to be my daughter.
Yeah, the morally conflicted one.
Yeah, and this one, like, it does that story, and it has like an ending to it at the end, and I couldn't help but feel like I just sort of groaned at the end and went, yeah, but it doesn't matter what happened in this. Next time we do a Suicide Squad story, it'll be different continuity, and we'll have to do half these same beats again.
It's true. I appreciate it, at least in this, it was a slightly different version to what I've seen before, with the way they played with the daughter. Like, yeah, that stuff felt new to me.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It's one of those things where it feels like there's certain elements of it that always seem to go back to the same thing.
It is. It's when we see the Batman origin every time.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, okay, I get it. I've seen it before.
Yeah, so that kind of bugged me. My other real complaint would be that I almost think it is a little too jumbled with too many teams of characters.
Yeah.
Because you've got, I feel like just having the Suicide Squad team against Thawne's team is far better. But you also had Vandal Savage, his daughter Scandal Savage, which by the way, of course he named her Scandal. Why wouldn't he?
Who wouldn't?
You got that whole thing going on, and I'm like, I don't really care about Vandal in this movie. He's kind of tacked on almost.
No, it's true. They gave this is like slightly long now. This for these movies. This is 85 minutes compared to the usual 75.
And it's also worth noting the next one, Batman Ninja, is also 85, so it may be a permanent shift.
It might. I will say it helped. Like I thought this was like that extra 10 minutes did help. To me, at least, it could have done with another 5 or 10 if we were going to have 3 teams.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, actually, probably the biggest thing I'd praise in it is is the idea that Thawne's the villain, and Thawne's got a team of them. I like Silver Banshee.
Yeah,
I like that Thawne's the villain, despite the fact that it's not a Flash story and there's no Barry. Like, I kind of like that.
yeah, definitely.
So I'm down with that. Some of the action's pretty good. There's a scene where Thawne's like chasing the van, and to be fair, I was like, wait, why is he struggling to keep up with a van? Like, he's Reverse Flash. But to their credit, that is a plot point, and that's
It is,
something to
and
explore.
they address it pretty immediately as
Yeah.
well. They're like, "Nah, something's wrong. If he wanted to get in here, he could."
Yeah, Deadshot's like, yeah, he should have killed us all by now. Was something's
Yeah.
weird here. So that's a plot element. So that was fair enough.
Yeah,
Uh,
I quite like the card as a MacGuffin. It's kind of fun because when they've got it, no one can kill them because it only works once.
yeah, so if they kill them, it's them that gets to get out of Hill
So
3
so it
part.
gets wasted. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I kind of like this.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I mean, I think it's fine. I think there's parts I enjoyed, and I think there's some elements I didn't. Some of it feels like it's just retreading some old ground that I've seen done multiple times at this point.
Yeah.
And I think Suicide Squad's a funny concept to me. It's always been one that I've never loved as much as a lot of the other DC universe, just because by its nature, there's like just inherent flaws in it. Because you either have to have some people who are more like anti-heroes so we can root for them at the core of the team,
Yep.
right? Or you have to change some characters to make them work in that context. Or you have a bunch of characters that I can't sympathise with at all, and I'm not rooting for anyone.
Which can work because I mean, the Suicide Squad. They got bombs in their heads. They've been forced into it. They can be the most awful people and just doing this to save their own skins. That can work.
It can work, but you can't count on me being emotionally invested. You have to just sort of play it as kind of what this movie, at least the credits implies it's doing, is it's just as a grindhouse movie. It's just
Right.
grimy characters doing violence and shit.
And that's almost the biggest problem with this movie, is it tries to do both because it does the grindhouse, the grimy. Okay, let's go for it. But then you have Deadshot kind of being the
Because
the
I was
morally
optimistic, because the
conflicted.
opening scene is violent as shit. You had Punch and Julie, you had Vertigo, and you had people being sliced up, heads exploding.
I love the start of every Suicide Squad movie where you introduce a whole bunch of people and you go, right, who's dead in the first scene? You kind of just picking them out.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff like that, and then it gets kind of back to that towards the end where we start getting deaths left and right, and various things being cut off. But for a lot in the middle, it's like no, it's this road trip. Which again, the road trip parts can be fun, and at times it is. But okay, it wants me to care that Deadshot's longing for his daughter, and that she might be
You could do with
estranged from him,
another action set piece in the middle.
and yeah.
I think that would have helped.
That probably would have helped. I feel like if we're going to do like a proper Dirty Dozen type movie with the Suicide Squad, just do it.
Yeah, they always half-ass it, don't they?
Yeah, they always take a half step because they want to still have some sort of emotional core. And well, I think in most movies that makes sense. Ultimately, there's only so much caring I can give to a group of villains.
There is. Yeah, they're all in this prison for a reason.
Yeah. So and I do like the idea that Amanda Waller wants this. Like she knows she's been too shady in life to get to heaven. And to be fair, they do address that some of them just don't believe that heaven and hell exists. So it's like, well, whatever.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Just getting this off my sentence. That's fine. Because they're all getting promised time off their sentence, of course, which is the motivation, other than being blown up.
Yeah, pretty standard Suicide Squad stuff still.
Yeah. But I mean that's basically the movie, without spoiling like how it ends and what they do with certain moments. That's basically
Yeah.
it. So I guess we'll get into spoilers then. So full spoilers for Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, and I've got it up so I can see it because I probably wouldn't have
Every
remembered
time
that.
you're glancing.
That's the thing that like you said, there's a Suicide Squad movie out. I'm like, is there? Was it? Like I didn't know about this. That's what to do.
Yeah.
And I will say this actually. I recognised Christian Slater the second he spoke.
Oh yeah, I think he does a pretty good job though. I like
was
him as
like,
Deadshot.
oh, but Mr. Robot's here.
Yeah,
To talking to us, great. That's nice.
yeah, doing some conflicted father things.
Yeah, obviously I mentioned Tara Strong's there. In terms of anyone else who I noticed, I didn't recognise her voice, but I just, for reference sake, Amanda Waller's voiced by Vanessa Williams, who I know from Eraser, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from 1996 or 7.
Okay, fair enough.
This is a decent little movie. Greg Grunberg's in there as well. He plays
Yeah, I did catch him.
he plays Maxim Steele, the stripper who used to be Dr. Fate for about a month.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, as soon as they were like, "Oh, he's got this Ang tattoo," I was like, "Okay, so he was some sort of fate related character."
Yeah, I don't know if it was specifically going to be actually fate though. Like I was like,
No, no, I
well,
didn't either. I was like, "Well, he's definitely connected to that."
yeah. Um, so you know, so yeah, so we're in spoilers then. For spoilers' sake, should you be concerned? Uh, so the whole big ending. So the one character that they paint is somewhat sympathetic as Bronze Tiger, who he's more the vigilante. Who, his wife was killed, so he became like this ruthless vigilante. But he doesn't kill people though. That was the thing.
He
Like
doesn't
that
kill innocents.
doesn't kill innocents. Yeah. And they're like, okay, right. So he's kind of the more sympathetic one, and which really should have meant he should have been the protagonist more than Deadshot was.
I agree.
They should have
I
spent more
agree.
time developing him than him. You know what I meant? More time developing Bronze Tiger than Deadshot. But so the whole thing at the end is that he's actually dying, like because Thawne's like went through some of them, and like Frost and Copperhead are fighting, and Amanda Waller blows up one of them, so both of them die.
That's
And
pretty
we
cool.
get to a point where it's just, Thawne is actually being shot in the head by Flashpoint Batman.
Yeah, I was not expecting this to be a pseudo sequel to Flashpoint.
Yeah. So he's actually delaying his death just long enough to get this card, so he doesn't go to hell. And I mean, I guess that's like they never actually explore the idea that Thawne cares about heaven and hell. Like, because if you said to me, does he believe in heaven and hell? I'd have probably said no.
Well, let's see. The way I like to think about this is probably not, but in that last moment, just in case,
Okay, all right.
he doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, but he basically kills Bronze Tiger, and Bronze Tiger gets a little bit of payback because he slices his fingers off at the last second, which helps Deadshot just blast him through. There's lots of villains' deaths in this. This would
There
never
is.
happen in the comics because we wouldn't want to lose all these characters. But so Bronze Tiger's dying, and Deadshot does the noble thing of giving him the card so that he doesn't go to hell, but then gives it to Waller anyway. And,
Just tells her it's fine.
yeah, but she thinks, of course, it still works, but it doesn't. So that's your nice little like wink, wink ending for the audience, which it works. So it's fine.
Yeah, it's quite a good ending actually.
Like I say, I think the opening 10 minutes and then the final 10-15 minutes are the strong points.
Yeah, those are definitely the best. Like, there's still good stuff in the middle, but it's just lacking a little something.
It's like I say, it's lacking the emotional core. Um, there's so many characters in it, and I mean, I know who 99% of them are, so I know them, but it doesn't feel like the movie does a proper job of like really getting to know them or introducing them or anything. I like Silver Banshee. I like how she looks in this movie, but she doesn't really, she's
Do
not a
anything. Yeah.
character. Like
No, no, she's just there to do some fighting.
she's just the henchman for Thawne,
Same,
as
same,
is
same for Blockbuster.
same for Blockbuster. Yeah. Um, I mean, Killer Frost has a little bit because you think she betrays the team and then she betrays the second team and then she's just out for herself and so
Kind of
on.
what I expect from Killer Frost, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. She's kind of an anti-hero in the comics now. She's on a
Yeah,
Justice League
she's
team.
kind of all over the place, isn't she?
On TV show in The Flash, she's a hero now. So but we Killer Frost
Yeah.
is going full hero.
Pretty much.
Except in
Pretty
this
much. Well, I
movie.
mean, she dropped the killer in the comics, right?
That's right. She's just Frost now.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like that.
Nah, she should change it to. You have to have a word before it, but you can change Killer to something like Savior Frost or. Uh,
What's a nice cold pun that would still work?
uh, Frostbite,
Yeah, that's probably already taken though, right?
probably.
It's got to be,
Probably. Jill Frost.
really.
Like Jack Frost. I don't know. What do you want from me? Uh,
No, I got nothing.
now I'm just trying to think of alliteration. Francine Frost.
These are just names now, rather than words describing things. Actions, all the other things that you typically have as your superhero names or villain
Alright,
names.
fine. Flying Frost or
See,
sex
you
tape. Or sex tape can be full frontal Frost.
Yeah, yeah. See, the problem is alliteration, and then I got a word association, so I got a freezing, but that doesn't work because then it's just redundant. Freezing Frost. Well, obviously, it's
That's never
Frost.
stopped comics before though. Wait.
It's true.
Fancy Frost.
Yeah, that'll do.
I don't know. Anyway, the action scenes at the start and the end are definitely the best parts of the movie. I think I was finding myself thinking it was okay, but like a lot of these recent animated movies, I was just kind of like, I'm not really into it. I'm not invested in what's going on.
I
And
agree. I was like, there's some cool stuff going on, but
especially when we've been working our way through Young Justice, on the Television from the Multiverse podcast for the last however many months, like when I watch that show, I'm invested. I care about the characters. I care about what's going on. Here, it's fine. It works, but it definitely feels like a DC animated original movie.
it does. It's just something light to throw on for an hour and a half. Have a little bit of fun here or there. Some nice jokes. Deadshot quipping about Waller. Not being the same. She lost the weight.
Yeah, but honestly, it's not must see at all.
No.
Even if you're a DC fan, maybe if you're a Suicide Squad fan specifically, maybe you should check it out. But even then,
it's one of those where if you're interested in seeing it, if you check out all these DC movies, yeah, you'll be fine. You're not going to regret it. It's not the worst you've seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it though. I'd wait till it's on the streaming service.
Yeah, or at least get a sale on it or something.
Yeah, or a rental for cheap. But
yeah,
it's not a purchaser.
Nah, I'm with you on this one. It's fine if you're a completionist, because I'll be honest, I am at this point. I've seen them all. I'm probably going to just keep watching them.
Yeah, but there was a time when I was excited about actually getting them on Blu-ray and building the collection, and it just kind of just slowly kind of died out, and I just stopped caring because they were getting more and more just kind of not bad, just mediocre.
Yeah. I know. I will say I am looking forward to Batman Ninja because it's a different studio, different director for a start.
It's been getting good buzz from WonderCon. So they screened it at WonderCon and it got good buzz. So we'll see how that is, and that's not too far away. I think that's next month.
End of April.
So we'll see how that is. And do you know what's funny? I remembered finding out about this, but I actually just noticed because they released some stills from it yesterday. We're getting a Death of Superman animated movie. And all I could think was, wait a minute, wasn't the first one Superman Doomsday, which was an adaptation of Death of Superman?
Yeah. I think they're doing it more properly. I think they're doing it as a two-parter as well. Two-part movie. One this year, one next year.
Well, the still's disappointing me because he's wearing his New 52 outfit.
Okay. Okay. Right, here's the thing.
It looks ugly.
Because I think they're doing Death of Superman and then Return. So, can we come back in the Rebirth outfit?
Maybe, I don't know. I just don't get it. We've moved on from that in the comics. I mean, I hated it when the New 52 was still on and they were using the New 52 outfits and stuff.
Yeah, they haven't caught up yet though in the movies, have they? We're still doing New 52 stories. I'm hoping that's maybe how they use Flashpoint obviously as the transition into New 52 for the movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
We could use Death and Return of Superman as okay, let's transition into some Rebirth stuff now. Don't be opposed to that.
I just think it's funny that they're actually starting to remake ones they've already done.
Yeah. But hey, if they do it, I was going to say the one of the best examples of these movies is the two-part Dark Knight Returns, right?
No, that's true.
So if they do it to that level and do it properly, it's worth remaking because
they've already failed in the visuals though. Because I saw the screenshots and just went ugh.
Okay, Superman Doomsday, it was all right.
That was fine. It was just kind of
But it was a starting point. But they went up from there. But
yeah, that's it. It probably holds up better than a lot of the recent ones have, to be honest.
It very well might. We should revisit them at some point.
I'm sure we'll revisit most of them eventually when there's a reason to do them. Next time there's a Superman movie coming out, we'll do all the live action Superman movies. We'll do all the animated Superman movies.
Maybe it'd be worth doing before the Death of Superman comes out. We can do the Doomsday and compare them. My
worry of doing that is that'll actually set up Death of Superman to make me feel bored because I'll feel like I'm just watching some of the same plot beats that I just watched a week, 2 weeks before it came out. But hey ho. So these are typically the shortest movie reviews we do because I don't tend to have a lot to say about these.
No, not anymore. Not in a while.
Yeah, so it's a shorter movie review. So, but I mean, I don't want to waffle on and pad it out with. I mean, arguably, we just padded it out by talking about what's coming up in the DC animated movies for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, sure, but I'm actually excited about Batman Ninja. I'm genuinely intrigued to see what someone else can do with the toys because it's been Sam Liu for so long now, and they all kind of feel very similar at this point. So I'm
They do.
excited to see, just someone else bring a different vision to these movies.
Yeah, yeah. So, and like a lot of the recent ones, it's a non-event. If you thought they were okay, you'll think this is okay too. But you know,
Yeah,
it's not complete garbage like Batman and Harley was, but it's not particularly
it's
good either.
it's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, it's serviceable.
Yeah,
As your review, how exciting it is to say it's serviceable. The emotion in our voices as we speak about this.
yeah, pretty much.
But that's Suicide Squad, hell to pay. They've got hell to pay for that Batman Harley Quinn movie.
Oh god, that was atrocious. Definitely
Anyway,
skip that one.
so that is the movie. So let us know what you think of this one. If you've seen it in the comments below, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching movies, and we'll see you next time.